Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! As silence enveloped the house, a ray of sunlight danced through the hallway, inviting curiosity. Eager footsteps approached. It was Tyler Morgan, his face alight with playful mischief. On this unassuming day, his twin sister's obsession became his inspiration. Enticed by the sight of Tina's prom gown, a masterpiece of blue sparkles and dreams, Tyler's mind ignited with an idea. For weeks, he'd listened to every detail, the hemlines, the quest for perfect accessories, each word etched in his memory. He'd rolled his eyes through it all, never understanding the fuss.
"Let's see what all the excitement is about,"
he whispered to himself, running his fingers along the silky fabric. The dress shimmered in the afternoon light, sequins catching the sun in tiny bursts of brilliance. Tyler glanced at his reflection in Tina's full-length mirror. His brown hair was cut short on the sides, but slightly longer on top, styled in a casual sweep. His blue jeans and red t-shirt were about as far from formal wear as possible. A wild idea popped into his head.
"She won't be home for at least another hour."
He chuckled softly.
"I could take a picture in this thing and leave it on her phone. She'd freak out."
Before he could second-guess himself, Tyler slipped off his red t-shirt and blue jeans. Standing in just his boxers, he carefully took the dress from its hanger. The material felt cool and smooth against his skin as he stepped into it, pulling it up over his shoulders. The zipper proved challenging, but with some awkward contortions, he managed to secure it halfway up his back. The dress was designed for Tina's petite frame, but the twins shared similar builds, both slender with narrow shoulders. To Tyler's surprise, the gown actually fit reasonably well across his chest and hips. Turning to face the mirror, he froze. The reflection staring back caught him completely off guard. The dress hugged his body in unexpected ways, giving him a feminine silhouette he'd never imagined possible. The deep blue color complemented his fair skin and brought out the blue in his eyes.
"What the?"
he whispered, turning slightly to see different angles. Something about the image before him felt strangely right, though he couldn't understand why. The sound of the front door opening downstairs jolted him from his trance.
"Tyler, are you home?"
His mother's voice called up. Panic surged through him. "Yeah, Mom! Just in my room!" Heavy footsteps on the stairs indicated she was coming up. Tyler scrambled to get the dress off, but the zipper stuck. He tugged frantically, only making it worse. "Tyler, did you see my—" His mother's words died as she appeared in the doorway, eyes widening at the sight before her. At the same moment, another voice piped up from behind her. "Mom, is Tyler home? I need to tell him something awful." Tina stopped short, mouth dropping open. Tyler stood frozen, face burning with shame. His sister's prom dress still clung to his frame, the blue fabric shimmering mockingly in the afternoon light.
"I can explain,"
he stammered.
"It was supposed to be a joke. I was going to take a silly picture and—"
His mother stepped forward, her expression unreadable. Tyler braced himself for anger, for disappointment. Instead, she circled him slowly, her head tilted thoughtfully. "Turn around," she instructed, her voice surprisingly calm. Confused but obedient, Tyler rotated to face the mirror again. His mother's hands went to the zipper, pulling it up properly instead of down. "There," she said, stepping back. "Now we can see properly." Tina moved closer, her initial shock transforming into curiosity. "I don't believe it," she murmured.
"What?"
Tyler asked, mortification still coursing through him. His mother placed her hands on his shoulders, positioning him squarely before the mirror.
"Look at yourself, Tyler. Really look."
He forced himself to meet his reflection. The dress, now properly zipped, fit even better than before. The neckline framed his collarbones, and the waist cinched at exactly the right spot, flowing out into the full skirt. Without the rumpled, half-dressed appearance, he looked beautiful. "You have my bone structure," his mother said quietly.
"I always saw it, but never like this."
Tina circled him, eyes narrowed professionally. "The color is perfect with your skin tone. Better than on me, actually." There was no anger in her voice, only wonder. Tyler stammered, "I'm sorry about the dress. I wasn't thinking. I'll never—" "Ryan canceled on me," Tina blurted out, her eyes suddenly glistening with tears. "My date. He just called. He's taking Melissa Cooper instead." Their mother gasped.
"Oh, honey."
"After all your planning." Tyler momentarily forgot his embarrassing situation, concern for his sister overriding everything else. "That jerk? After stringing you along for weeks?" Tina nodded miserably, sinking onto her bed. "Now I have no date for prom."
"Everyone will know I got dumped last minute."
An uncomfortable silence fell over the room. Tyler shifted awkwardly in the dress, uncertain whether to continue this bizarre moment or try again to remove the gown. His mother's gaze moved thoughtfully between her twins, a strange expression dawning on her face. "I have an idea," she said slowly. "Though it's a bit unconventional." Both twins looked at her questioningly. She gestured toward Tyler. What if Tyler went with you?" "Mom!" Tyler exclaimed, horrified. "I'm not going to prom with my sister. People would think—" "Not as Tyler," his mother clarified. "As someone else." Understanding dawned on Tina's face first. Her eyes widened, traveling up and down her brother's dress-clad form.
"As a girl? As my friend from out of town, maybe?"
"Exactly." Their mother nodded, warming to the idea. Look at him. With the right makeup, hair, and accessories, no one would ever know.
"This is insane,"
Tyler protested, though his eyes drifted back to his reflection. "I can't go to prom dressed as a girl!" "Why not?" Tina asked, suddenly animated. The devastation of moments before transformed into excitement. "You already look amazing in my dress. With my help, you could totally pass." "But why would I do this?" Tyler asked, his voice cracking slightly. Tina's expression softened. "Because I'd do the same for you. Because we're twins, and we've always had each other's backs." Their mother added gently,
"And because, if I'm honest, you look more natural in that dress than many girls would."
Tyler stared at his reflection once more. There was something undeniably right about the image. Something that made his heart beat a little faster. He'd never considered himself particularly masculine, but he'd never thought about being feminine either. Yet here he was, standing in a prom dress, and the most shocking part was how comfortable it felt. If, and this is a huge if, I agreed to this crazy plan, Tyler said cautiously, how would we even pull it off? I don't know the first thing about being a girl. Tina's face lit up. "Leave that to us! We have 2 days!" 2 days to transform me into prom queen material? Tyler laughed nervously. "That's not possible!" His mother smiled knowingly. "You'd be surprised what's possible when the foundation is already there." Tyler swallowed hard, looking between his mother and sister. Their faces showed no judgment, only an almost eerie certainty. He thought of Tina's heartbreak, of the months she'd spent planning for this night. He thought of his own reflection in the mirror, the strange sense of rightness he couldn't explain. "I'll do it," he said finally. "But only for one night, and nobody can ever know it was me." Tina launched herself at him, enveloping him in a hug that nearly knocked them both over. "You're the best brother ever!" Tyler returned the hug awkwardly, the dress rustling between them. "Let's hope I make a decent sister, too." The next morning arrived with military precision as Tyler's door burst open at exactly 7 o'clock. Tina marched in carrying a large makeup bag, followed by their mother with an armful of clothing. "Rise and shine, beauty school dropout," Tina announced cheerfully. "We've got a transformation to complete." Tyler groaned, pulling his blanket over his head. "I've changed my mind. This is crazy." "Too late." His mother yanked the covers away. "We're doing this, and we're doing it right. First step is teaching you how to move like a woman." For the next several hours, Tyler endured lessons in walking, sitting, and standing properly. His brown hair, already on the longer side on top, was subjected to various styling experiments. Tina declared they would need temporary extensions to give him a more feminine look. "Extensions? Isn't that a bit extreme for a one-night prank?" Tyler questioned. His mother and sister exchanged glances. "It's not exactly a prank," his mother said carefully. "It's a solution to a problem. And if we're going to do this, we need to be thorough." By afternoon, Tyler found himself seated at Tina's vanity, watching in fascination as his sister transformed his face with makeup. The foundation smoothed his skin, concealer hid any trace of stubble, not that he had much to begin with, and contouring reshaped his features in subtle but effective ways. "Your eyes are actually perfect for this," Tina murmured, applying mascara to his lashes. "They're already big and expressive. Most guys would kill for these eyelashes." Tyler watched his reflection change incrementally. Each stroke of makeup, each adjustment to his hair made him look less like himself, or perhaps more like a part of himself he'd never acknowledged. "We should probably come up with a name for you," Tina suggested as she blended eyeshadow onto his lids, something similar to Tyler, so you'll respond naturally. "Tyla," their mother suggested from the doorway where she was sorting through accessories. Tyler wrinkled his nose. "Isn't that a bit obvious?" "That's why it works," Tina explained. "If anyone notices a similarity, it's easily explained as coincidence. Plus, you won't forget to answer to it." After the makeup came wardrobe. His mother had gone shopping that morning, returning with appropriate undergarments that made Tyler blush furiously. "I am not wearing those," he protested as she presented a pair of silicone breast forms. "You want to be convincing, don't you?" she countered. "The dress neckline requires it." Eventually, he relented, amazed at how the silicone forms transformed his silhouette. Special underwear helped flatten and tuck certain areas, creating a smooth, feminine line. By evening, they had practiced walking in heels, torture devices, Tyler determined, proper feminine gestures, and even voice modulation. Tyler's naturally higher register made this less challenging than expected. "Not bad for day one," Tina declared, reviewing their checklist. "Tomorrow we'll go for the hair extensions and do a full dress rehearsal." That night, Tyler lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. His face still felt strange after the thorough cleansing required to remove all the makeup. His legs ached from walking in heels. Yet, beneath the discomfort was a persistent feeling of excitement he couldn't explain away. On the morning of prom day, Tyler found himself in a salon chair, watching as a stylist named Marla attached long brown extensions to his hair. His mother had explained away the sudden transformation to the stylist as preparation for a theater role. "You've got the perfect face shape for this length," Marla commented, arranging the newly lengthened hair around his shoulders. The soft brown waves framed his face in a flattering cascade. Tyler couldn't stop staring at his reflection. With each passing moment, Tyler seemed to recede further into the background as Tyla emerged. The sensation was disorienting, but not unpleasant. Back at home, the final preparations began. Tyler's mother had altered the blue dress slightly to better fit his frame. Tina had chosen a different dress for herself, a stunning emerald green that complemented the blue without competing. "We'll say we coordinated as friends," Tina explained as she began applying Tyler's makeup once more.
"No one will question it."
The transformation complete, Tyler, now fully embodied as Tyla, stood before the full-length mirror in astonishment. The person staring back bore almost no resemblance to the boy who had impulsively tried on his sister's dress 2 days ago. The blue gown hugged a distinctly feminine figure, enhanced by strategic undergarments. Long brown hair fell in soft waves past his shoulders. The makeup was flawless, subtle enough to look natural, but effective in feminizing his features. Delicate silver jewelry adorned his ears and wrist, and a small pendant nestled at his throat.
"I don't believe it,"
he whispered, his voice pitched slightly higher than normal.
"I look
beautiful," his mother finished, tears in her eyes. "Absolutely beautiful." Tyler turned in a slow circle, watching the dress shimmer and move. Something deep inside him resonated with the image before him, like discovering a piece of a puzzle he hadn't known was missing. "How do you feel?" Tina asked, standing beside him in her own formal wear. "Strange," Tyler admitted. "But not in a bad way. More like, I don't know how to explain it." Their mother checked her watch. "The limo will be here in 20 minutes. Last chance to back out." Tyler looked at his sister, then back at his reflection.
"No,"
he said with sudden certainty.
"I'm doing this for Tina."
"And for yourself," a quiet voice whispered in his mind. The limo arrived precisely on time. Tyler had never felt more nervous walking down the stairs and out the front door. Every step in the silver heels required concentration. "Remember," Tina whispered as they approached the vehicle. "You're Tyla, my friend from my summer camp last year. You go to Westridge Academy normally." Tyler nodded, carefully gathering the blue dress to slide into the limo without incident. The driver held the door open, addressing him as Miss, without a flicker of doubt. The first test passed. The drive to the hotel hosting the prom passed in a blur of last-minute coaching. Tina pressed a small purse into his hands, containing emergency makeup, his ID, carefully hidden, and a phone. "If anyone gets suspicious or you feel uncomfortable, text me this emoji." She pointed to a panda face on the screen. "We'll create a distraction and get you out." The hotel appeared all too quickly. The butterflies in Tyler's stomach went into overdrive as the limo pulled up to the entrance where other students were arriving in their formal wear. "Ready?" Tina asked, squeezing his hand.
"As I'll ever be,"
Tyler replied, his heart pounding. Stepping out of the limo required all his concentration. One foot carefully after the other, remembering how the dress moved, maintaining his balance in the heels. Then he was standing on the sidewalk, the cool evening air playing with his long brown hair, the blue dress catching the light from the hotel entrance. "Tina, over here!" A group of girls waved enthusiastically from near the door. Tyler felt his throat tighten with panic. This was the real test. Tina's friends. "Showtime," Tina whispered, linking her arm through his. "You've got this." They approached the group, Tyler forcing himself to adopt the slightly swaying walk they'd practiced. The girls greeted Tina with hugs and compliments on her emerald dress. Then all eyes turned to Tyler. "Everyone, this is my friend Tyla," Tina announced. "She's visiting for the weekend and agreed to come as my +1 since Ryan turned out to be absolute trash." "Oh my God, I've heard so much about you!" one girl exclaimed, embracing Tyler without hesitation. "Tina told us all about the camp pranks you pulled last summer." Tyler managed a smile, pitching his voice carefully. "All good things, I hope." The group laughed, and just like that, he was accepted. No suspicion, no sideways glances. The girls treated him like any other female friend, complimenting his dress, his hair, his makeup. As they entered the ballroom, Tyler felt a strange sense of exhilaration. The heavy bass of the music pulsed through the floor, colored lights swept across the crowd, and all around them, students danced and laughed. No one gave him a second look, or rather, they did, but not because they suspected anything. Several boys' gazes lingered appreciatively on him as he passed. "See? Totally working," Tina murmured, guiding him toward the refreshment table. "You look amazing!" The first hour passed in a blur of introductions and small talk. Tyler found it surprisingly easy to slip into the role of Tyla. He laughed at the right moments, contributed to conversations about makeup and dresses by repeating things he'd heard Tina say, and deflected questions about his school with vague answers about being too excited about prom to think about academics.
"Would you like to dance?"
The question came from a tall boy in a black tuxedo with a blue tie that coincidentally matched Tyler's dress perfectly. His name was Christopher, one of the basketball players Tina had pointed out earlier. Tyler froze, panic flaring. Dancing hadn't been part of the plan. He glanced at Tina, who gave him a subtle nod and thumbs up.
"I'd love to,"
Tyler heard himself say. Christopher led him to the dance floor just as the fast song ended, and a slower one began. Tyler's heart hammered in his chest as Christopher's hand settled respectfully on his waist, the other clasping his hand.
"I haven't seen you around before,"
Christopher said as they began swaying to the music.
"I'm visiting Tina,"
Tyler explained, focusing on maintaining his feminine voice. "We met at summer camp last year." "Well, I'm glad you came. You're easily the most beautiful girl here tonight." Tyler felt his cheeks warm with genuine embarrassment. "Thank you. That's very sweet." As they moved together on the dance floor, Tyler gradually relaxed. There was something comforting about being held this way, about being seen as beautiful and desirable. Christopher was a perfect gentleman, keeping a respectful distance while still making Tyler feel special. When the dance ended, Christopher asked if he could get Tyler a drink. While waiting for him to return, Tyler caught sight of his reflection in the decorative mirrors lining the ballroom wall. The soft lighting cast a gentle glow over his features, making the blue dress shimmer magically. For a moment, he forgot he was in costume. The person in the reflection seemed more real than the boy he'd been 2 days ago. Throughout the evening, Tyler danced with several other boys, each time growing more comfortable in his role as Tyla. He and Tina stayed close, sharing knowing glances whenever something particularly amusing happened. When Christopher asked for his number at the end of another dance, Tyler politely explained he was only in town for the weekend.
"That's too bad,"
Christopher said, genuine disappointment in his eyes.
"I'd have liked to see you again."
Something tightened in Tyler's chest. Regret, perhaps, or a wish that the fantasy could continue beyond tonight. As the evening progressed, Tyler found himself truly enjoying the experience, not just helping his sister, not just playing a role, but being Tyla. There was a freedom in it he'd never anticipated. The way people looked at him, spoke to him, treated him, felt right in a way he couldn't articulate. Near midnight, the DJ announced the last dance. Tina appeared at his side, flushed from dancing. "Having fun?" she asked, genuine curiosity in her voice. Tyler nodded. "Yeah, actually, way more than I expected." "You've been amazing," she said, squeezing his hand. "Seriously, Tyler, I don't know how to thank you."
"It's weird,"
he confessed quietly. "I thought this would feel like a huge joke or some kind of torture, but it doesn't. It feels..." He struggled to find the right words. "Natural?" Tina suggested, studying his face closely. Tyler met her eyes, surprised. "Yes, exactly that." A thoughtful expression crossed Tina's face. "You know, when we were little, you always wanted to play with my dolls. Mom and Dad never made a big deal about it, but I remember."
"Did I?"
Tyler frowned, searching his memories. Tina nodded. "And you were always more comfortable around my friends than your own. I used to think you had crushes on them, but maybe..." She didn't finish the thought, but Tyler felt it hanging in the air between them, a possibility he'd never considered before tonight. The last dance was announced, and Christopher appeared once more, asking Tyler for the honor. As they swayed to the ballad, Tyler allowed himself to rest his head briefly against Christopher's shoulder, savoring the moment. Tomorrow, Tyla would disappear, and Tyler would return. The thought brought an unexpected wave of sadness.
"I wish you weren't leaving,"
Christopher murmured near his ear.
"Me too,"
Tyler replied softly, and meant it. The dance ended, and the lights came up. The magical evening was over. Tyler and Tina made their way to the waiting limo, accepting compliments and goodbyes from friends. No one had suspected. The masquerade had been perfect. In the privacy of the limo, Tyler finally released a long, shaky breath. "We did it," Tina grinned, kicking off her heels. "We absolutely did it! You were amazing! I saw you dancing with Christopher Richards. He's like the catch of the senior class." Tyler smiled, a blush warming his cheeks. "He was very nice." "Nice? He was totally into you." Tina laughed, then studied her brother's face more seriously.
"How does that make you feel?"
Tyler considered the question, looking down at his hands, the silver bracelet catching the passing streetlights. "Confused, flattered, a little sad that it's not real." "What if it could be?" Tina asked softly. Tyler's head snapped up.
"What do you mean?"
She shrugged, choosing her words carefully. I've watched you all night, Tyler. I've never seen you so comfortable, so natural, so happy. Not even as yourself. It was just a role, Tyler protested weakly. A costume? Was it, though? Because it seems to me like maybe Tyla isn't a costume at all. Maybe she's been there all along, waiting for a chance to come out. The limo fell silent as Tyler absorbed his sister's words. Was she right? Had tonight revealed something fundamental about himself he'd never had the framework to understand? When they arrived home, their mother was waiting up, eager to hear about the evening. As they recounted the night's adventures, she watched Tyler with the same thoughtful expression Tina had worn earlier. It sounds like everything went perfectly, she said when they finished. No one suspected a thing. Not even close, Tina confirmed. Everyone just saw a beautiful girl in a blue dress. Tyler felt a flutter in his chest at the words. Beautiful. Girl. How strange that those words should resonate so deeply. I should probably go take all this off, he said, gesturing to his outfit and makeup. It's been a long night. His mother nodded, but as he turned to go upstairs, she said quietly, Tyler, you know we love you no matter what, right? No matter who you are or who you want to be. Tyler paused, a lump forming in his throat. I know, Mom. Thank you. In the privacy of the bathroom, Tyler stood before the mirror, studying his reflection one last time. The makeup was still flawless, the brown hair framing his face in soft waves. The blue dress still fit perfectly. He didn't look like a boy in costume. He looked like Tyla. Slowly, reluctantly, he began removing the jewelry, the pendant, the bracelet, the clip-on earrings. Next came the careful process of removing makeup with the cleansing wipes Tina had given him. With each swipe, more of Tyler emerged, and Tyla receded. But even with the makeup gone, something had changed. It wasn't just the hair extensions that would need professional removal. It was something in his eyes, in the way he held himself, in the knowledge that he had discovered tonight. In his bedroom, he carefully hung up the blue dress, smoothing the fabric with gentle hands. He changed into pajamas, but couldn't bring himself to remove the hair extensions yet. Instead, he sat on his bed, running his fingers through the long brown strands, feeling their weight against his shoulders and back. A soft knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. Tina entered, also in pajamas, her face scrubbed clean. Hey, she said, sitting beside him on the bed. How are you feeling? Honestly, I don't know. Tyler sighed. Tonight was supposed to be a one-time thing to help you out, but it felt like more than that. Tina nodded encouragingly. Tell me. When I was Tyla, he began slowly, I didn't feel like I was pretending. I felt right, like I'd been wearing a costume my whole life, and tonight was the first time I took it off instead of putting one on. He looked at his sister, vulnerability in his eyes. Is that crazy? Not crazy at all, Tina said firmly. It actually explains a lot. Like what? Like why you've never seemed completely comfortable in your own skin. Why you've never really connected with other guys. Why you were so good at being Tyla with literally 2 days of practice. She took his hand. Tyler, have you ever thought that maybe you're transgender? The word hung in the air between them. Tyler had heard it before, of course, but had never applied it to himself. It seemed too significant, too life-altering to consider. I don't know, he said honestly.
I've never really thought about my gender at all until tonight.
Well, maybe it's time to think about it, Tina suggested. Because the person I saw tonight wasn't my brother pretending to be a girl. It was someone discovering herself for the first time. Tyler absorbed this, the possibility opening before him like a door previously unseen. Even if that were true, what would it mean? What would I do? That's up to you, Tina said. But whatever you decide, I'm with you. We all are. And maybe that's why this whole prom situation happened. To show you something you needed to see. After Tina left, Tyler lay in bed, the long brown hair spread across his pillow. His mind replayed moments from the evening, dancing with Christopher, laughing with the girls, catching glimpses of himself in mirrors, and seeing someone who looked right for the first time. Was Tyler really who he was meant to be? The question was enormous, life-changing, but for the first time, it felt like a question worth asking. Morning light filtered through the curtains when Tyler awoke. For a moment, he thought perhaps the entire prom night had been a dream. Then he felt the hair extensions still attached to his head, and reality came flooding back. He sat up slowly, catching sight of the blue dress hanging on his closet door. Last night had been real. The feelings had been real. And now he had to decide what to do with this new understanding of himself. Tyler reached for his phone and opened a browser window. With fingers that trembled slightly, he typed, "How do I know if I'm transgender?" The search returned thousands of results: medical websites, personal blogs, support resources. He began reading, recognition flaring with each description of gender dysphoria, each account of self-discovery. A knock on his door interrupted his research. His mother entered with a cup of coffee, placing it on his nightstand. "I thought you might need this after such a late night," she said, sitting beside him on the bed. Her eyes took in the phone screen before he could hide it. Rather than seeming surprised, she nodded thoughtfully. "I had a feeling this might be coming," she said softly. Tyler looked up, vulnerable. "I don't know for sure yet. I'm just exploring the possibility." "Take all the time you need," she replied, brushing a strand of the long brown hair from his face.
"But know this. Whether you're my son Tyler or my daughter Tyla, you are loved exactly the same." Tears welled in Tyler's eyes at the simple, profound acceptance. "How did you know before I did?" His mother smiled gently. "Parents see things sometimes, little clues over the years. The way you've always been different from other boys your age. How uncomfortable you've seemed growing into manhood. And then seeing you in that dress." She shook her head wonderingly. "It was like watching someone come into focus for the first time." "I'm scared," Tyler admitted. "If this is real, everything changes." "Yes," his mother agreed. "But maybe it changes for the better. Maybe it changes toward truth." She left him with a kiss on the forehead and his thoughts to sort through. Tyler returned to his reading, absorbing stories and information, each piece fitting into the puzzle of his identity with unnerving precision. Around noon, Tina came in with sandwiches and sat cross-legged on his bed while they ate. "So," she said, studying his face. "Any revelations?" Tyler took a deep breath. I think I might be transgender. I'm not completely sure yet, but everything I've read this morning feels like it's describing me." Tina nodded, unsurprised. "What would you like me to call you? Tyler still, or Tyla,
he said, the name feeling right on his lips.
I'd like to try being Tyla for a while. See how it feels for more than just one night.
Tyla it is, Tina said with a smile. My sister. The word sister sent a wave of warmth through him, through her. Tyla. For the first time, the name felt like more than a disguise. It felt like coming home. Do you think it would be crazy if I didn't take these out yet? Tyla asked, touching the brown hair extensions. Not crazy at all, Tina replied. In fact, I was thinking we could go shopping later. Get you some clothes of your own, not just borrowing mine. I'd like that, Tyla said, a smile spreading across her face. I'd like that a lot. That afternoon, the twins and their mother went to the mall. With each new outfit Tyla tried on, each moment of being addressed as Miss by store clerks, the certainty grew. This wasn't a costume or a role, and just like that, Tyla took a step forward into a new chapter of her life, embracing her true identity with every fiber of her being. It was not a transformation, but rather a revelation, an unveiling of the person she was meant to be. The blue dress, a symbol of her journey, would forever hold the memories of this pivotal moment. As she stepped out of the fitting room, Tyla felt a sense of freedom and acceptance. No longer burdened by pretense, she walked with confidence, every step a declaration of her truth. This was not just about clothing or appearance. It was a celebration of self-discovery and the courage to be genuine. In the days that followed, Tyla's life began to mirror the authenticity she embodied in that fitting room. Each day brought new realizations and a deeper understanding of herself.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!